Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Spooky Okie. We are so excited to be back. Really excited about this episode and this season. I wanted to hop on here and do a quick little intro just to let you know that I did a silly thing, as you all expect at this point. I hit record on our audio and not on our video, but we recorded most of the episode as if we were recording video. So we made comments about things that, if you're watching this, you can see blah, blah, blah. Joke's on us. Nobody can see anything. So, have fun with it. Play a drinking game with it if you want. Drink every time we talk about something on the video that nobody can see, but we don't even know. I don't know. Have a great time with it. It's still a really fun episode. It's very funny to listen back to all of our comments about the video recording, knowing that it's not actually recording video. But it's still a really good time. We're so excited for Season 3, and thanks for joining us. Enjoy. I'm starting the voice recording.
As you snort
into the microphone. Great. We can't even put that on the episode because we haven't started this yet.
Oh, gosh.
This. Start video. Oh, I should show off my new shirt. Have I shown you this yet? It says, "It is what it is, and it is not great," and it has a raccoon.
Nice. We're both wearing animal stuff.
We are.
I'm wearing, me and Mom went to Holiday or Canyon.
Nice.
And we went to...
That's cute. I like the color.
Monkey Mercantile.
Love it.
Oh, should we have, started the, Do you have an introduction?
I don't know. It's been a long time since we've done this. Hello.
Please. Hey, guys. I'm Catherine.
I'm Madison.
And this is Spooky Okie.
Welcome. It's Season 3, and we've completely forgotten how to podcast.
Yep.
Even though I'm on another podcast now.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. I don't have to lead that one. I just kind of am there.
You're like a character, right?
I'm a character.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you like D&D and stuff, then check out Eberron Renewed.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. I've never played D&D before joining a podcast that has an actual fan base and stuff, so it was a little intimidating coming into it. But it's been great, and everybody's been super nice. I'm on the Discord for it.
Nice.
So I get to see what everybody's saying about it. It's pretty
Cool.
fun. I've learned how to play D&D on a professional podcast, which is wild, but
That's
it's really
hilarious.
fun. I didn't know if I would like it.
Taylor likes
Well,
D&D.
great.
By the way,
Perfect.
update. I have a boyfriend now.
Yay!
His name is Taylor.
Precious. I still haven't met him.
I know, we gotta figure that out.
I know.
We gotta figure out
Because
time.
he lives far away. So.
He lives 2 hours away from me,
Ugh,
so.
I couldn't do it. We live 5 minutes apart and I can't handle it. Anyway, it's Season 3. I don't feel like there's really any updates other than that.
We're changing the format a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's an update. Great. Anyway, we're changing the format. I don't remember what we're doing. What are we doing? We talked about this months ago, and I have blocked all of that out.
Instead of doing mostly Oklahoma stories with a few sister state episodes worked in, we're now mainly going to be doing other places, but we're going to start off with an Oklahoma episode.
Yeah, because we're kind of running out of Oklahoma stories.
Yeah.
We didn't think about longevity when we started this podcast and decided the format of doing Oklahoma stories. We forgot, we're going to run out of places.
Yeah.
There's plenty of true crime still, but, spooky places we're running out.
Yeah.
Other than, here's a place somebody says is spooky. That's all we know.
Right.
They say
very
it's spooky.
short stories.
Yeah. So even the one I have today, I'm it's kind of short. So, yeah, we're running out. But we're going to start out with Oklahoma and then branch out into other states. So,
Yep. Very excited.
Pretty awesome. Should we just get started? I don't remember how to podcast.
I feel like
mess.
this is the first time I've done this.
Me too. It has been months.
It has been months.
Because last time we did it was just the Patreon content.
Yeah.
So our little mini episodes.
Yeah. So remember, if you want to get some extra spooky content, make sure to subscribe on Patreon.
Yeah. We did, over the summer, what were they called? Coffee and Cryptids.
Coffee and Cryptids and Crafts and Crime.
Crafts and Crime, yeah. Guess how much of that embroidery I've done after that?
None. Me neither.
None. I have some of the stems done and none of the flowers. I have done nothing. So anyway.
I was so close to finishing that embroidery pattern. I haven't
You
done
were
it yet.
really close. I was not close at all. I've got a few stems and that's it. It's just a few little patches
a few
of
more
green.
letters and then I'm done.
I know. If you don't know what we're talking about, guess you better get on Patreon.
Yep, go to Patreon.
Because we're not telling you here.
Nope.
Anyway, I'm getting my notes out because I feel like we need to start because it's already going off the rails. It's a really solid start to season 3.
Our plan was to start recording at 7:30 tonight, and it's 10:30.
Yeah. Part of that was I had to work late.
Yeah, and then part of it was we haven't caught up in a while.
We haven't seen each other in like months.
So many stories to tell.
Oh yeah. So we talked for 3 hours instead.
Yeah. Also, life update. My grandmother doesn't live with me anymore.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
She's in a nursing home facility with all of her little buddies and getting the care that she needs.
Yep.
So that's another life update. So we won't have to have any cutouts where I go check on her.
Right. We don't have to have the monitor right by us.
Yeah.
To keep an eye on her. But yeah. Anyway, you want to hear about a creepy place?
I would love to hear about a creepy place.
I don't remember how we start this. Do I go first?
Yes, you go first.
Great. Wonderful. I forgot everything. Perfect. So I'm going to cover St. Vincent's Asylum.
I'm excited because I've always seen this on lists and I've never done the research on it.
Me too. And I have a friend who had like gone to see it in person and like told me some spooky things about it. But like yeah.
That's cool.
It's also like closed down now and it's on private property, so we can't go. They will call the cops on anybody who goes, and so don't try to go there. But here's all the spooky stuff about it.
Cool.
Okay, so my sources are abandonedforgottendecayed.com.
Oh, cool. All right.
Quite a name. Abandonedok.com and onlyinyourstate.com. There were a couple of articles on that one. So
nice.
Anyway, let's dive right in, shall we?
Let's do it.
Perfect. So, St. Vincent's was founded in 1945 as a mental health hospital for men. It was founded by the Brothers of Mercy, a nursing order of Catholic brothers.
Okay. It's never really good when it's religious based.
No, it's not. Sure not.
All right.
Anyway.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah. So, it was originally started in a house in Oklahoma City, just like in a regular house. Okay. But it very quickly outgrew that space.
Okay.
So, they built a 22-room facility on the current property in 1952.
Okay.
And
Let me guess it got overcrowded?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shocking, right?
Shocker.
Didn't see that coming. It continued growing very quickly. So by 1956, an expansion was already in the works. So only like 4 years after they moved there. Jeez. So they already had to build onto it. The total cost of the hospital ended up being around $105,900. Dang. So very pricey. And $50,000 of that was a grant from Hilburton.
Dang.
So.
Now, was that then money or today money?
That's a great question. The article didn't specify.
Okay.
So, no idea. I assume then money because that wouldn't be that much.
That wouldn't be that much
today.
No.
I wonder what it is today. Let's look it up.
I already got it pulled up. Okay.
Oh, wonderful. 105,900.
105,900 in the year.
In 1956.
It would be 1.2 million.
Ooh.
Just over 1.2 million.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I feel like for a whole facility.
Yeah.
So the new red brick addition was 2 stories tall, creating room for 23 more patients.
All right.
So it pretty much doubled the capacity of the place. The hospital included semi-private rooms with baths, nurses' stations, a chapel, and a lounge on each floor. Okay. So it was like pretty nice facilities, really. So I don't know all the Catholic titles and stuff, but Superior Brother.
It's like Mother Superior, right?
Yeah,
like
probably.
The lead
like Sound of Music. Okay,
right.
Great. That's all I can relate it to.
Right. So like the
Superior Brother.
The
Brother Superior.
The male nun equivalent.
Right.
Head nun.
Like a monk.
Yeah, head monk.
Head monk.
Yeah.
So head monk Bellarmine Salomon.
Okay.
I don't know.
And you think it's Solomon?
It said Salomon.
I know, but do you think it's pronounced Solomon?
I don't know. I thought salmon, but
okay.
Solomon makes more sense.
Okay.
Anyway.
Since it's like religious, that would...
Well, I think it's just his name, right? Or do they take different names? Do monks take different names too?
I think sometimes they do.
Well, I don't know if he's a monk or a priest. I don't think priest takes different names because we were talking to Father Adrian. I feel like that's probably his name.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, back when we were trying to tour Sacred Heart and we were told no because we were not a legit podcast.
I know.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yikes.
And look at us now.
I know. Season 3 going strong. So many listeners.
So many. We're doing so well.
We could try again.
We could try again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We could. As we start this episode saying, I feel like it's never good when it's religious. I feel like just make sure they don't listen to this
Don't
one.
listen to season 3, episode 1. Father Adrian, we're sorry.
We're sorry, Father Adrian. Anyway, never met the man. I'm sure he's nice.
I'm sure he's very nice.
Okay, so Brother Superior Bellarmine Salomon oversaw operations of the hospital, whoever he is. He wanted to provide patients with the word of God and a comfortable place to rest up and heal or to pass on.
That's a nice thought.
It's a nice thought. They even had an annual carnival and magic show to fundraise for the hospital.
Well, that's fun.
Which seems kind of creepy to me, being in an asylum and having a carnival. Like, that just is, like, kind of the scariest things. Is, like, asylum and, like, clowns.
Yeah, that's
you know,
true.
like,
that
that's
is kind
so
of a
creepy.
That actually
It's
is kind
really
of a creepy
creepy.
combo.
I'm not a fan. Anyway, I went to a magic show recently, too.
Did you really?
On Saturday. I went to Frontier City to Fright Fest, but, like, we went early. And, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. It was, like, a fun little show. It was a lot of, like, effects and stuff.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. So, check it out. Anyway.
You didn't stay for Fright Fest, though, right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
me neither. That would not be my thing.
Like that sort of thing. Jeff does not like being scared. So we left before the scary stuff happened.
See, it's funny.
He does not like being scared.
I can go on a ghost hunt, but I do not want to go.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the haunted houses and stuff. I think it's fun.
I've done a haunted corn maze. And I definitely pushed past people once we got out of the court, like, there was a spot in the corn maze where, like, you briefly come out.
Yeah.
And it's, like, a clearing, and there's, like, graves.
Okay.
And a Grim Reaper came out with the scythe. And the girls in front of me are like, guys, you need to go. You need to go. There's somebody coming. There's somebody coming. There's a Grim Reaper coming. I need you to go. And they wouldn't go. And he comes up, and he sets the scythe right on the back of my neck. And I was like, nope! And I scooped them out of my way, and I take off.
I like the, like, haunted stuff.
They weren't supposed to touch us. That was also the thing.
Oh,
is like,
then they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
They did not have permission.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so they had annual carnival and magic show to fundraise for the hospital, which is the creepiest thing you can do for an asylum, but
yeah.
Okay. So for many years, the hospital was pretty quiet in the media. Nothing notable happened. Just kind of normal day-to-day operations, taking care of people, no big deal. Like, nothing negative. That all changed in 1962.
Great.
So, I mean, I guess it says for many years, but it wasn't that many years. It was just a few years.
Yeah.
So, on October 23rd, 1962, the Daily Oklahoman reported that a former male nurse had turned himself into the Oklahoma City Police, confessing to killing 2 patients at the St. Vincent's nursing home a year before.
Ooh, that's not good.
So,
That's really not good.
Louis Andre Demers, I don't know how to actually say his last name, so we're going to call him Louis. He was only 24 years old when he killed 2 men. He stated that his motive was, quote, I had tried to kill once and couldn't do it. I wanted to find out how it felt.
Oh my gosh.
End quote. Yeah. Scary that people just think that.
Yeah.
His victims were Stuart Mitchell and William Ingram, both of whose deaths were reported to be from natural causes at the time.
That's not good.
Yeah. Lewis moved to Boston for school a month after the murders, where he decided that he must be sick because he committed the murders. And so he spoke with psychiatrists and confessed to the murders, but they did not believe him because there was no proof.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
But then he confessed to police, and they also didn't believe him.
Oh my god.
So they had him do a polygraph test, which we know is not even accurate.
No.
But it did show that he was telling the truth,
Okay.
that he committed the murders. So they were like, oh, okay, great.
Oh, okay, this test that isn't really accurate, we're gonna buy that.
Right, we're gonna, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, thank goodness they did in this case, but, like,
Right.
as a general rule, like,
They're not
what?
accurate.
So Lewis was again examined by psychiatrists who determined that he was mentally unfit to stand trial, and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and sent to Central State Hospital in Norman for treatment.
Okay. That's really crazy.
Central State Hospital.
Yeah.
That's come up in one of my previous stories too.
It's in my story.
Is it in yours?
It's in my
I mean, it's a really popular one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's under a different name now, but
Yeah, it literally comes up in my
Yeah.
story.
crazy. I mean, there's not that many places in Oklahoma.
Briefly, but
still.
when you hear about this case, you're gonna be like, and that place came up, like,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Crazy. So after he was released, he went on to get his degree from Washburn University in Kansas,
okay.
and he worked as a licensed mental health technician at Menninger Clinic for many years.
Nice.
Which I think is kind of a cool thing. Like, it just goes to show, like, sometimes, like, rehabilitation is a great thing. Like,
Yeah.
it can happen. People can get better and with treatment. Anyway, I just think it's really cool to hear, like, a success story about, like, you know, he was
Right.
unwell and he did these things, but once he was able to get help and treatment, like, he was able to help others, you know?
Right.
And, like,
That is
there
pretty
weren't
cool.
any reoccurrences, like, you know?
He
I think
just
that's really
genuinely
cool.
needed
He needed help.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And he
obviously does
tried
not
to get
excuse.
it.
Yeah, and obviously doesn't excuse what he did, but
Right.
like it goes to show that like that's worth investing in and not just throwing people in prison all the time. You know?
Right,
Like
exactly.
it's worth investing in.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little soapbox. So then in 1968, Father Richard F. Dolan remodeled St. Vincent's into a rehab facility for alcoholics, which was renamed the Main Artery.
Okay.
And then it closed in the mid-70s. Some
really
sources
short.
say 80s, but I don't know.
Okay.
It gets very unclear at this point what actually happens.
Okay.
So there's like a couple of differing reports about what happened to Father Dolan.
Okay.
So some people say that he was killed by patients on the property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not good.
Then another story is that he would hire men to work for him at a flea market on 10th and Penn in Oklahoma City.
Uh-huh.
And then in 1984, he was arrested for soliciting prostitution when he approached a male undercover officer for sex.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true either. Like,
Okay.
it's just kind of from random articles, so I don't know how accurate that is.
Okay.
So I don't want to, like, trash this poor guy if it's
Right.
not true, you know?
Right.
And then it's also said that he was beaten to death in his apartment and found 2 days later by the apartment manager and the maintenance man on November 30th, 1988. That one has a date, so I feel like it's a little more reliable, maybe.
It seems like it.
And then a friend of Dolan's from Colorado reported to police that Dolan had been previously confronted and attacked, and his death is still unsolved, according to that source.
Really?
So, I don't know what the true story is, but those are kind of the things that people say.
Wow.
And so there's speculation of dark energy causing all of the tragedy surrounding the people associated with this place. So even if he did, like, get killed somewhere else,
Right.
it's, like, saying it's, like, from the dark energy that he was around in this place.
Gotcha.
It's believed that the area is home to a demonic entity. That's what people say.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. My
That's
least
not good.
favorite of
No,
all
it's
entities.
not good. It's a demon.
That's a demon. So, anyway, nobody has a lot of specifics about the spooky stuff, which kind of sucks because I
does suck.
got all this history done and then I was like, yeah, let's find the spooky stuff. And there's just, like, not much. Partially because it's closed down to people. There are a couple of episodes of something about it, but I couldn't find them either. So,
Dang.
I don't know. But people report hearing sounds of creaking, banging doors, and even recordings of ghostly noises. So people have gotten EVPs here. I just couldn't find any record of any of them or, like,
Okay.
what they said.
And there were no, like, societies that had been able to get in there?
No,
Man.
not that I could find.
Dang.
Like, I checked the big one in Oklahoma, and they hadn't gone, at least that I could find from their website.
Dang.
But it has become a popular place for ghost hunters in recent years, if they can get there.
Right.
And a lot of it is illegally trespassing, so don't do that.
Right.
Because apparently they will call the cops on you. Like, that's what I was seeing, is people being like, don't do it, it's not worth it. So, we're not going to be going there.
No.
I don't recommend anybody else goes there. We're not putting that out there. We're not advising that.
We do not condone that at all.
Nope, don't do that. Don't trespass.
It's not worth trespassing.
Yeah. I have had friends who went there legally, who reported equipment dying, like, immediately when going in, especially in the basement, like flashlights dying immediately. And an unnatural amount of bugs. I think he said ladybugs covering like the window
I don't like
to the
that.
basement or like that basement area, and not on the other ones, like just that area, which we know is demonic when there's like bugs.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I
So
don't like that.
anyway, that's really all I have for it. I wish I had more creepy stuff, but it is said to be really haunted, and that's just a little bit of the history and like the stuff that's happened there and to the people involved there. So
Even without extra stories, it just seems creepy.
yeah, like if you look up the pictures,
It looks
it's
really creepy. Yeah.
So
Ooh.
anyway, that is St. Vincent's Asylum.
All right. Well, thank you. That was a
Thank
good
you.
one.
We made it through the first story of season 3.
All right. Are you ready to hear a true crime story?
Oh, I'm so ready. You know these are my favorite.
Okay, so my true crime story doesn't seem until like the end, but it does have an Oklahoma connection.
I mean, we already said we're getting desperate and we're running out of stories, so.
But this was such a big, crazy case that I
Okay.
had to do it, even though the Oklahoma connection is small.
There's still one. It's okay.
There's still one. All right. So, this is the story of the kidnapping of Barbara Jane Mackle. So, my
I
sources.
haven't heard of this one, I don't think.
I had heard of it by a different nickname that I will get to in a minute.
Okay.
I had not heard the victim's name.
Okay.
I had heard something else. So,
And that's why we drink to it? Do we know?
I don't know that they did.
Okay. I was
No,
about to say.
they could because I'm behind. I'm way
Okay.
behind.
I was about to say,
But-
that's probably the only way I know it, because that's how I get all
There's
of my
been
stuff.
several podcasts that have done it.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't listen to any of them. I just saw like
Awesome.
country fried crime, southern
Oh,
fried crime. I think I showed up on my Google search.
I don't know that one.
I didn't know that one either.
That's cool.
I was
Shout
like,
out to them, I
know. I
guess.
was like, I love the name.
Yeah.
I might have to listen to them now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a lot of sources.
Great. Wonderful. Name them off so we don't get sued.
All right. FBI.gov, and I've got a couple of those. Wikipedia.org. I used 3 different pages for Wikipedia.org. New York Times. I used a couple of articles from New York Times, including like their like Times machine, like that like shows you like old digitized newspapers.
That's cool.
Webarchive.org, abcnews.go.com, investigationdiscovery.com, koco.com, in2013dollars.com.
Wonderful.
And ajc.com.
Okay. Great.
All right. Barbara Jane Mackle was a 20-year-old student at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. Fun fact, I thought about going to Emory.
Really?
Yes. Because they have like a lot of interesting stuff with like primate research and stuff.
And that's what you like. Yeah.
It was 1968, and at the end of the fall semester, she contracted the flu, and her mother drove up from Coral Gables, Florida, to take care of her. She wanted to drive her to their family home in Florida for a Christmas break and for her to recover.
Mm-hmm.
As they drove home, they stopped for the night at a hotel in Decatur, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That night, as they were in their room, there was a knock at the door. A man dressed as a policeman was at the door and said that Barbara's boyfriend, Stuart Hunt Woodward, had gotten into an accident. Naturally, they opened the door only to discover that the man was not a police officer.
No.
He and his accomplice knocked out Barbara's mother, Jane, with chloroform and tied her up. They then pulled a gun on Barbara and told her to go quietly with them to their car, where they then made her get in the back. That's when they informed her that this was a kidnapping.
Never let him take you to a second location.
Nope. Because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, her dad's a millionaire. She's an heiress.
Makes sense. There we go. There's our motive.
There's the motive. Their family was wealthy.
Question.
Yes.
Did they name her boyfriend like by name, and that's
Yes, they had done their research.
So they did their research.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Got it.
Like big time, like money, family standing.
Okay.
So her dad was co-owner with his brothers of a real estate firm called Deltona Corporation.
Okay.
It's a Florida real estate corporation. It was at that time worth like $65 million. I tried to look up what it's actually worth today, but there's like a lot of debate as to what it's actually worth today. But they were personal family friends with Richard Nixon at the time.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
had high society ties.
Got it.
So, the FBI agents received orders directly from J. Edgar Hoover to be involved in this case.
Okay.
While Florida State Police were getting their word from Democratic Senator George Smathers. So
everybody is involved
everybody is involved in this case. So let's do a little bit of backstory on the kidnappers.
Okay.
So the two kidnappers, the first is Gary Stephen Christ, 23. I threw this in there just because I only saw it in like one record, but it said Miami-based SeaWorld employee.
That adds so much, honestly. It really helps me visualize. Okay, got it. Understood.
But he also had like another job, so I don't know if he was really an employee there, but I threw it in there because it's in
love
one
that.
source.
I love that.
He was born in Aberdeen, Washington. He grew up part of his childhood in Alaska and part of his childhood in Utah.
Okay.
Very different areas.
Very different. Was he Mormon?
I don't know, but his crime started when he was 14.
Okay.
He had a string of robberies when he was 14.
That is a child.
Yeah. He escaped from a California state prison in 1966, so when he was 21.
Okay.
Where he was serving time for car theft. He escaped with another person as well, but that person died in the escape attempt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The other kidnapper was the first woman to go on the FBI Most Wanted list.
Oh.
Ruth Eisman Shire, age 26. This is the weirdest backstory.
Cannot wait. Okay.
She was born in Honduras. She's white.
Okay.
Okay. She has blonde hair and green eyes.
Oh, okay.
She is the daughter of Austrian Jewish refugees that were living there after escaping Nazi persecution.
Oh.
She then ended up moving to the U.S., and she was a graduate of the National University of Mexico and was a graduate student at the University of Miami's Institute of Marine Science when she met Gary Stephen Christ.
Interesting.
And apparently they met on a student-professor cruise to Bermuda.
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm so confused about all of it. Okay.
But he apparently also had a job at the university.
Okay, I was about to say, how did he get on that cruise?
He had a job, and I'll tell you the job in a second.
Okay.
So, back to the kidnapping.
Okay.
They drove Barbara 20 miles away to a forested area near Duluth, Georgia. They told her to lay in a box that rested in a trench that they had dug.
Absolutely not.
They told her to hold up a sign that read kidnapped and took a Polaroid picture of her.
Once they've got the picture, they're done.
As soon as they had taken the picture, they closed up the box and buried her.
You don't let them take the picture. You fight them.
Just wait.
Okay.
It's not as bad as you think.
Okay.
The box was engineered to keep her alive, with an air pump and plastic tubes up to the surface.
What? This is so weird.
Yeah.
Why do all that?
The box, because they want the money.
But why kidnap in this way? Like, why? That's so complicated.
So his other job was working on ventilated boxes at the university.
What?
So
how is that a job?
I don't know.
What is the demand for that?
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a science thing where like you need a ventilated box to like do certain chemical stuff.
maybe.
Like where it's, I don't know.
Weird.
That's the only thing I can think of, because you know they have those things where like you have the gloves from the outside that you can maneuver things, and it has some sort of weird ventilation because it has some air movement. Like that's the only thing I can think of, because they said it was a fiberglass box.
Okay.
So
yeah, it makes me think of like the NICU things where you've got the gloves and yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah. The box also contained a small amount of food and water and the water contained sedatives.
Ooh.
It also said that they had put in a lamp, but the lamp died before she was rescued. Okay. So eventually she was just in the dark.
Oh, that is awful.
They buried her.
I mean, honestly, thank goodness they had sedatives though, so she could just like sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
They buried her about 18 inches under the ground.
Okay.
A quote from her is, "I screamed and screamed. The sound of the dirt got farther and farther away. Finally, I couldn't hear anything above. I screamed for a long time after that." Yeah.
Okay, but that tells me she lives. So
she does. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm relieved to know that.
The kidnappers then contacted the family, demanding $500,000 from her father.
Okay. What's that in today's money, Catherine? Please tell me.
I'm so glad you asked.
After you nudged me.
That's about $4.5 million in today's money.
Okay. It's a good amount.
It's a good amount.
But for somebody that rich, that seems kind of low.
Honestly, I thought the same. But
I would ask for more.
I would have asked for more. The first ransom drop was not successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has expertise that you don't want a kidnapper to have.
Right. Deacon's boss provided the name of Ruth Eisman Shear, who also worked at the university, as someone that Deacon spent time with. Then the FBI was contacted by a local man in Georgia claiming he had just bought a small trailer from a man and found some odd paperwork inside. The FBI discovered letters addressed to George Deacon and Gary Christ because he was still labeled an escapee from California.
Right.
He had never been he had never served the rest of his time.
Okay.
And then they compared the prints found in the car to the ones in Chris's file, and they realized that Deacon was actually Chris.
How dumb to sell a trailer and, like, leave all the evidence about who you actually are inside.
Right.
Like, what? So smart with this kidnapping plan and these ventilated boxes. You
Yeah.
can't even keep track of your paperwork.
Yeah. On December 20th, okay, so this is 3 days after.
Oh, she was in a box for 3 days.
Yeah. So the reason I had heard of the story before, I've heard of the girl in the box.
I have not.
You've not? Okay.
No, this is totally new.
Okay. The other, like, the nickname for this is, like, the girl in the box.
Okay. Makes sense, yes.
On December 20th, Chris called and gave a switchboard operator of the...
I didn't hit record. I just panicked. I just realized I never hit it.
No!
Audio only episode? The
Yeah.
audio's recording.
The audio's recording? Okay,
Yep.
audio only episode.
Sorry, everyone, if you were expecting video.
So sorry.
I just realized. My face is so red right now, not that you can see it. Yeah, I just, for some reason, realized.
The audio is recording, right?
The audio is recording. Yes, the audio is recording. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Audio only episode.
only episode this time.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's okay. I didn't catch it either. I should have caught it.
Man, we're out of practice.
We're out of practice.
Okay, well, great, cool. At least I don't have to edit video.
Yeah.
That takes a while.
Cool.
Okay, great. Perfect.
We
Anyway,
can
back to your story.
We can shut off Zoom then.
I guess so. Goodbye, Zoom. So dumb. Man, okay.
It's okay.
I don't even know what made me realize that I didn't. It just hit me and I panicked and I was like, I didn't hit record.
It's okay. No worries.
Great.
Hey, we can have my snort in the audio now.
Yeah, we can. How funny is that looking back when we're like, oh man, but we didn't start the video yet, so it's not going to be in the episode. Joke's on us. Nothing's in the episode. Okay, anyway, you can get back to your story, I guess.
Okay.
For our audio only. Although I know lots of people who prefer only audio podcasts and don't like it when people do video with their podcasts, so it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. We're trying to reach a new audience. That's
Yeah.
it.
Our OG audience.
Yeah.
This is just a throwback.
It's a throwback
It's a
episode.
throwback to when we did not do any video.
Yeah. That's it.
Great. Perfect. Hopefully the audio's good this time, though.
We talked about our outfits and everything.
We did. I was like, look, guys. Look at my outfit. We showed the screen our shirts. We're so dumb.
I adjusted the camera to get
Oh, yeah,
the
you
better
said, can I
view."
adjust this?
And I didn't notice it was not recording.
We've been staring at the screen for 35 minutes, and neither of us noticed the record button was not hit. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway, back to your story.
Back to this kidnapping.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. On December 20th, so 3 days after she was buried, Chris called and gave a switchboard operator of the FBI vague directions as to Mackle's
It's going great.
burial place. The FBI set up their base in Lawrenceville, Gwinnett's county seat, and more than 100 agents spread out through the area in an attempt to find her. They were digging the ground with their hands, anything they could find to try to locate her. Barbara was finally found and rescued, suffering from dehydration, but otherwise unharmed.
That's a miracle.
She had spent more than 3 days. It was about 83 hours buried underground. And she has come out with a book, and I think it's called 83 Hours.
That's wild.
Yeah. She was found still wearing the red and white nightgown that she had on when she was abducted. Barbara Jane was nevertheless reported in good condition, and she was immediately flown to her distraught parents in Coral Gables.
Goodness. It's insane that they found her.
Yeah, it really is. That nothing, like, else went wrong. Because,
Yeah.
like, the light went out. Like, what if the air pump had gone out?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So many things could have gone wrong.
yeah. What if they couldn't find her because of the, like, bad directions that they gave? Or,
Yeah.
or the vague directions that they gave?
Yeah. Or, like, what if she had fought so hard because she was screaming and stuff? What if she had fought so hard and had, like, broken it and it caved in? You know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so many things could have happened.
Yeah. All right. So now to the kidnappers' escape attempts.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm ready.
So both were immediately placed on the FBI most wanted list.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Barbara was rescued, the manhunt began. So I'm going to start with Chris' part.
Yeah.
So the first break in the case came when a West Palm Beach boat dealer reported that a man calling himself Arthur Horowitz had bought a 16-foot outboard, paying for it with cash. It was $2,300 and $20 bills that he carried in a brown paper bag.
Oh, that's not suspicious at all.
Yeah, not at all.
It's like the worst way you could possibly carry it.
Yeah.
Like, this is obviously ransom.
Yeah. Serial numbers proved that the money was part of the ransom raised by the girl's father. Chris took the boat out onto some canals, hoping to reach the Gulf of Mexico. He threaded his way across these canals. At the last lock along the 155-mile stretch, a suspicious tender called the FBI. I don't know what a tender is. I don't know if that means, like...
I don't know.
Like somebody that watches the canals?
Yeah, maybe.
Swiftly, a land, sea, and air task force was mounted to track Chris down.
Dang.
With helicopters whirring above him, Chris ran his boat aground on an area of the Gulf Coast called Hog Island that's known for being crocodile and snake infested.
Oh, no.
I really expected this case to go in a different direction and being eaten by a crocodile.
Me too. Does it not?
No, it does not.
Well, shoot.
I know. He scuttled the boat, stashing aboard it in a waterproof bag $480,000 of the ransom money. He then took off through the waist-deep swamp towards the lights of a tiny fishing village called El Hobian. He never made it.
Oh.
2 Charlotte County deputies stalked him until finally he paused to rest directly in front of them. We just turned the light on him, and there he was, crouched down on a log, just sitting there. They found $17,000 in his pocket.
Okay. So it was just him, though?
It was just him.
Ruth was not there?
Ruth was not there. And they...
Wait, he had all the money? Did he have all the money?
Pretty much.
What the heck?
He had most of it. There was only about, let's see, what is that, 3,000 missing?
Oh, my goodness.
Because they found 17,000.
Well, and he bought the boat, too.
He bought the boat.
He had all the money.
Yeah.
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 That's insane.
And they caught him like 2 days after.
Oh, okay, so he didn't even do a good job.
No. Ruth did a much better job.
And without the money.
And without the money. They were hunting for her for 79 days.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's impressive.
So she claimed that she left Miami because she and Chris became separated after the money drop, and she was unable to get back to the car and thought that Chris had abandoned her.
Okay, there we go.
She escaped Georgia, hopping on board a bus that took her into hiding. She escaped to Norman, Oklahoma,
There we go.
where she got a job at Boomerang.
Oh, fun. Great.
Her boss, Bob Lehman, said that she was sweet and unassuming and that she was a good worker.
I mean, good for her, yeah. She had to work hard for the money that she didn't get.
She did. While working for Boomerang, she eventually applied for a job at Central State Hospital.
Oh my goodness. Wild. Wait, what year was this?
This was, what did I say, 1968?
I wonder if they were... Did she get the job? Did she work there?
No.
Shoot, I was about to say, I bet they were there at the same time.
1968.
They
No.
literally would have been there at the same time.
So, she did not get the job
Oh.
because...
Wouldn't they have to background checks and fingerprints?
Exactly. Which takes us to the other first woman in our story. The first woman at the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation to be a female fingerprinter was the one who got her fingerprints.
Wild.
Yes. So at the age of 25, Jean Price was a young employee of Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation and Oklahoma's only female fingerprint analyst at the time.
Okay.
Price said, and when you work at the hospital, talking about Central State Hospital, you have to be fingerprinted and get a background check.
You sure do.
And we were lucky we got the fingerprints when we did because she was leaving that night.
Wild.
Those prints were handed over to Price in the lab. She compared them to the partial prints found inside the suspect's getaway car. In minutes, she had a perfect match.
Wild.
She said, oh, I was sure. I was sure. And that's how it came to be. Oklahoma's only female fingerprint analyst at the time caught the first female on the FBI's most wanted list in Norman, Oklahoma.
Ah! Yes!
Price received letters from the likes of the governor and the head of the FBI himself.
Good for her.
Shire was extradited from Oklahoma to Georgia to face trial, where she pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. I could not believe it was just 7.
Yeah, I mean...
I guess it's because the kidnapped person didn't die.
Yeah.
And there was no, battery.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, kidnapping does not have a long sentence, does it?
I don't think
even
it
now,
does.
I don't feel like it's long.
It's crazy.
Yeah. 'Cause they could have done attempted murder, but even that's not a very long sentence, I don't think.
Yeah. She served 4 years of her sentence and was paroled in 1973 on condition of deportation to her native Honduras.
Okay.
So, and I couldn't find anything else about her. There's no other information to find.
Wild.
I don't know any more of her story.
Huh.
And she was 26 at
I was
the time
about
of
to
the
say, I'm sure
kidnapping,
she's still
so
out there.
She's still alive, unless something's happened. But
Yeah.
But I could not find anything else on her.
Crazy.
Nothing came up in Spanish because I
Yeah.
was prepared to look at some
Yeah.
Spanish articles and I didn't see anything. Not to say there couldn't be something out there, but I didn't find it.
Wild.
All right, so let's talk about Chris.
Okay, let's talk about him.
His story goes on a little bit more.
Okay.
Chris was sentenced to life in prison in 1969, but was released.
Wait, because of the first escape and all of that stuff, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah. This was not his first rodeo.
Right.
So
yeah.
But it was released on parole after 10 years and went on to commit several more crimes. Also, I think he was more like the ringleader of the crime.
Yeah.
And so I think he probably got a more
Right.
More to his sentence for
Makes
that
sense.
too. Chris was paroled after serving 10 years and granted a pardon after he was accepted to medical school.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Oh my goodness.
At the Autonomous University of Guadalajara in Mexico so that he could become a physician.
They just take anybody there, don't they?
In December 2001, after his application to practice medicine in Alabama was rejected. I'm sorry, but if you get rejected in Alabama, no offense, Alabama. But
Yeah. Don't offend our Alabama listeners.
sorry.
Oh my goodness.
The Medical Licensing Board of Indiana granted him a probationary license, under which he was required to report to the board every 6 months and submit to psychiatric evaluation, and was prohibited from prescribing certain drugs.
Okay.
Okay.
How did he do? I don't want to judge yet because I just did a whole thing in my story about how people can be rehabilitated and can improve and change. And
Yeah, don't save that speech for him.
I kind of thought so, but I didn't want to judge,
He did not learn his lesson.
Okay. I was wondering if that might have been the case.
Yeah. And
I wanted to believe in him. I wanted to think maybe he could have changed his ways.
Yeah, no. So he practiced medicine in Christie, Indiana until his medical license was revoked in 2003, so 2 years, as a result of not disclosing a disciplinary action he had received during his medical residency.
Do we know what that was?
Yes.
Okay.
So, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, now, if I'm understanding this right, if his residency was in West Virginia,
Okay.
then what he didn't tell them was of the accusations of crossing sexual boundaries with patients.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Real winner.
Yeah. So In 2006, Chris chartered a boat to South America in January. When he returned on March 6th, authorities were waiting for him and discovered 4 undocumented immigrants who had paid $6,000 each to come to the United States.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, sweet. Along with 14 kilograms of cocaine in paste form, valued at around $1 million then.
Oh my goodness. How much today?
1.5 million today. Thanks for asking.
Okay, yes, you're welcome. What is with this guy in the boats?
I don't know.
He's really into these boats, and they don't work out well for him.
I don't know. And he was raised in, like, Alaska and Utah. Like, I don't know if maybe there was something in Alaska with boats.
Maybe Alaska,
yeah. But not in Utah, I wouldn't think.
They've got some lakes there, right?
Sure.
Yeah, the boat thing doesn't make sense.
He was arrested in Point Clear, Alabama for conspiracy to bring cocaine and illegal immigrants into the United States. It was also discovered that he was running a cocaine operation in Barrow County, Georgia.
This guy.
On May 16th, 2006, Chris pleaded guilty to drug smuggling, and on January 19th, 2007, he was sentenced to 5 years and 5 months in prison at the Federal Correctional Institution in Marianna, Florida. He was released from prison in November of 2010.
Okay. The thing with this guy, he needs to...
It still goes on.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
There's just one more.
Okay.
On August 27th of 2012, so 2 years after he was released, in Mobile, Alabama, U.S. District Judge Callie Grenade revoked Chris' supervised release for violating his probation.
Oh, what did he do?
He had left the country without permission.
On a boat?
On a boat!
Ah! This guy in the boat!
Sailing to Cuba and South America on his sailboat.
My goodness.
He sentenced Chris to 40 months imprisonment. The Federal Bureau of Prisons indicates that he was released on July 2nd, 2015.
Nothing since then?
Nothing criminally since
Nothing
then.
that we know of, yeah.
So in 2016, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution did send reporters out to his home to try to get an interview, but he would not talk to them.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably smart to not.
So you can actually see a picture of him hiding his face from the reporters.
Oh.
At his
home. It looks
home.
so staged.
I know.
I would say we would add it to the video, but we won't be doing that, so just look it up, I guess.
Yeah. So they wanted to interview him because it came to light about the accusations of sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
From his medical residency.
Goodness.
They tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't. But he wouldn't, he didn't, close the door on him. He just, covered his face. And
weird.
Talk to him. Yeah, and that's what they thought, too. Why didn't he
just close the door?
So I just thought this was interesting. I really liked the article.
Okay.
She said, research on abusive physicians shows a remarkable number of them are narcissists and lack empathy for others, thinking of themselves as victims. She said, I don't know Chris, but I wondered about that as he stood there with his arms crossed instead of turning and shutting the door.
Interesting.
Also, she said, those were the same hands that just before Christmas in 1968 knocked on the door of Barbara Jane Mackle and her mother. They carried a high-powered rifle into the room, restrained Mackle's mother, and they held a chloroform cloth over the mother's mouth, tied her with Venetian blinds cords that he had brought, and then took Mackle out while his girlfriend, his accomplice, injected her with a sedative. It makes you think.
That is good. Also, I forgot she had the flu during that. She was buried alive with the flu.
I thought about that, too, because, some places said, the mom had come to help her recover and then take her home.
Okay.
Others
but
were
either way,
she's still weak.
So the dehydration is going to be even worse.
Right.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing with this guy, he's not, picking a specialty and sticking to it, and I think that's why he's getting caught. Other than the boats, but obviously he's not good at that.
I mean, he's apparently, adept enough to sail across,
I mean, I guess so, but he keeps getting caught in the boats. So,
sure.
Give it up with the boats.
He's not sneaky with the boats.
He's not sneaky with the boats. He can sail them, but he can't be sneaky.
Yeah.
But, he got in trouble for, all this, robbery stuff, and car theft, and then kidnapping, and then, the ransom stuff, and then drugs, and then, smuggling. Just pick a lane and stay in it, dude.
Yeah.
He can't get good at anything because he keeps changing.
I know.
Anyway, that's my advice to him.
Pick a lane and stay.
Pick a lane and stay there, buddy. Give yourself time to get good at one thing. Anyway, that's my takeaway.
So that is the case of Barbara Jane Mackle.
That was so good. I have never heard that. I loved that.
I when I started like looking at it, I was like, okay, wait, and there's just more, and then there's more. I was like, okay, I gotta do the story. This is so cool.
I'm just so glad. Like, I like it so much because like she lives, so it's not. I mean, obviously it was traumatic and awful that happened, but like she lives, so it's not the normal like terrible like murder
awful, gruesome.
Yeah, that we normally cover. Like this was a little bit. I don't want to say lighthearted because obviously it was still awful, but like knowing that she lives does change it, you know?
I wanted a story to start the season that was not gruesome, awful.
Yeah,
so
love that.
Yeah, that's my story.
All right. Well, there's season 1. Episode 1 of season 3. I'm so tired.
And I didn't catch it either at first.
I did immediately, and I was like, well,
did.
shoot. Okay. That's episode 1 of season 3. Thank you guys for listening and not watching, apparently, because I didn't hit record on the video. But thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram at Spooky Okie Podcast. If you have any story suggestions or recommendations, you can send those on Instagram or email them to spookyokiepodcast@gmail.com. Reminder, we are going to be doing stories from other states, so if you have something that you want to hear, feel free to send that into it. It does not have to be Oklahoma-based. We're opening it up this season.
Yep, for sure.
Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, rate and review, all that good stuff. Head on over to Patreon for some extra content, and I think that's it. I forgot how to do this.
I think that's it.
Great. We did so well.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.